works.
All right. Okay. Yep. All right. Good evening, everybody. If you'd all join us for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Yep. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the
republic for which it stands,
one
nation, under God, indivisible, liberty for all.
I'm going. We didn't have very good cadence there on that one tonight. So, all right. With that, we will we'll call the December 21st Town of Damariscotta Select Board meeting to order. We'll get some stuff out of the way here. We have minutes of December 7th. We had a chance to look those over.
I'll make a motion to approve December 7th.
All right. Thank you, Josh.
Second,
Did you second Andrea? Second?
I did.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Andrea, second. She beat you to it, Tom. Oh.
it's okay.
All those discussion? All those in favor?
Look good.
Okay, we move. Tom, you good? Yep. Okay, all four. I might mention too that we have Tom in Zoom here tonight, Tom Anderson, and Lou is absent this evening. So financial reports. We have payroll warrants 29. Is that the
I think that was 29 and 30. Right?
yeah, 29 and 30. We can move both 29 and 30 together. Yeah.
I'll move payroll warrants 29 and 30.
Okay, thank you, Josh. Are you second? Yeah, speak right up, Andrea. So,
Okay,
yeah,
fine.
yeah. Andrea seconds. All right. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, motion carries.
Abstain.
All
Abstain.
right. I'm gonna call on you on the next one, Tom, because I'm gonna need you. You'll have to trust us on this one because we'll need a quorum. So we have AP 31, accounts payable 31. I'll make a motion to move accounts payable 31.
I'll second.
Andrew's gonna second. Any discussion?
They need you, Tom.
All those in favor? Tom, you gotta trust us on this one. We need your vote.
All right.
Nobody gets paid.
Talk later.
All right. One abstain. Yeah, we have a
I kind of have to.
conflict of interest with the fire company on that warrant. So, all right. Thank you. Okay, we'll move along. Citizen comments, general correspondence. I think do we have a presentation this evening from somebody in the back room there?
Less of a presentation, just more of a chance. Chief has one announcement on staffing, personnel, and then I shared, it came in late this afternoon, but a press release based on the events that happened today at the school. So I don't know if anyone, the board, just so you can see that, but
yeah,
let the chief just talk about that.
Yeah, come on up, Chief, and introduce yourself. Those that don't know you.
Oh my goodness. People don't know me.
Wow.
How are you?
Good. I'm good. I just lost the screen. Sorry. Hold on. I gotta come back.
My name is Jason Warlick. I'm the police chief here in Damariscotta. This is just kind of an update. Unfortunately, we lost a pretty solid staff member to Lincoln County. He opted that he wanted to make that jump, but fortunately for us, we have reserves waiting in the wings. So one of the reserves that we currently had was William Smith, 23-year veteran Rockland police officer, retired from there. And he's been a reserve for us for 2 years, a little over 2 years, real solid, great guy. And he was chomping at the bit to want to get back in full time. So, I don't know if we necessarily need your permission, but that's what I'm here for, to get your blessing on being able to allow Billy to fill in that full-time spot. He's passed all the backgrounds, his poly, his psych, and everything that is required. And I'd love to slide him in there and add him to our already pretty gifted agency. So
Yeah. No, I don't.
We need
think
a
there's
vote,
any
right?
issues.
Just
You want to, well, you're the personnel manager.
Yeah.
Well, I am.
The charter says.
Well, it is. And I shared the charter with chief earlier. And so I think that's something that we might want to look at. Because I think in the personnel policy, it says something maybe a little bit differently than the charter does.
Correct.
But I think it was as much of an update just to let you know that that's happening as anything else. Because I think the way it has been happening is that, you leave it to me and the department heads to be able to do that. When it comes to department heads, that's clear, that up to the board, but it was kind of more of a update for you.
Sure. We're all good from my.
Yeah.
Perfect.
If you get a chance to stay staffed with
well, in today's day and age, to have
With
a
qualified
waiting
personnel.
list of people who want to come in and be full-time cops for Damariscotta is pretty great when no other agencies or at least a lot of agencies struggle to get qualified applicants, let alone certified blue pins.
he's been a reserve for how long now?
2
He's been
years.
A couple of years. Yeah. He's been around. So,
He's a great asset.
Yeah.
We'll be able to utilize him in a multitude of ways, not just patrol. So
Great.
Unless you guys have questions for me as far as the school incident, I did a press release, but I'm more than welcome to, you're more than welcome to ask me questions. It's fully transparent. Josh, you were there. So there may not be
Mhm.
much, but if anybody has questions, this is the chance to ask me and I can answer whatever you need. Perfect.
Yeah, I don't think so. I just got a chance to look at the press release, but we've read it made it in the paper this morning, too. Yeah.
It was transitionally speaking from what we were dealing with, I would say to you, it was a great job on everybody's part. We were able to have the school completely evacuated in 3 minutes
Wow.
with 400 students. And then
Yeah.
within 15 minutes of an initial evacuation, the school had an entire roster done and we're starting to release children within a half an hour of the initial
They
start
had-
of the event. That is incredible for an offsite evac. And to have the school be able to do an attendance, have full records, and then to be able to release to parents that were there was incredible. I can tell you, I did not receive one single call from a parent because we were right on the ball. Facebook, we were right on the ball with emails. Parents knew where to go, what to do, and they were educated on what happened, and that's what they needed.
Wow, that's great.
So it was great. Yeah, it was just it wasn't me. I mean, it was a
What was
a
your-
collaborative effort.
Yeah.
Right. It was a whole team, everybody, Lincoln County, the fire department, and we just came together and
School
School
administration,
was great,
teachers, even the
Yeah,
kids themselves.
the kids were great. Yeah.
So,
And trust me, if the kids didn't want to go out there, that would have been 3 minutes.
and even getting
Yeah.
all the bus drivers to get there
Yeah.
Yeah.
to get the
For
kids
sure.
home.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome. Yeah.
Things went
It was
pretty
for everybody
smooth under the circumstances we were given, so.
Yeah, nobody got hurt. So
Yeah.
Chief, it's Tom Anderson. I don't want to tie everybody up to find out what was going on because I'm not aware, but is there a place I can go to find the information about the release on this?
Yeah, I just sent an email late this afternoon with the release the chief submitted to the.
Okay,
meeting.
all right, thanks.
excellent.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you
For listening. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other,
I don't want to see you again tomorrow. Spent most of the day with you today.
Have a good Christmas.
So, yeah.
do we have any other citizens comments? Anybody I don't think there's anybody online. Andy, anything? News, mail, anything exciting? We can move on.
Just some holiday cards.
All right, good enough. All right, let's move on. We have some capital project updates. Let's get into your manager items. How's that sound?
Yeah, I'll just leave Egypt and Belvedere Road for later on in the agenda. That's something we have an amended bid form for that. And so hopefully I sent that out earlier today. That's something that the engineer and the contractor we've gotten together on, and all the additions or the change orders that were coming. We tried to group them all into one. So hopefully get a chance to see that, and we'll talk about that later. Hodgson Street, I know the engineer sent one more email to one of the property owners to make sure that the designs for parking are suitable. And I don't believe there's been a response yet, but they're getting closer on wrapping up that design. So we can get that out to bid this winter. And Church Street, Andrew did provide me with kind of a high level estimate for the Church Street project. So I can utilize, I needed those numbers so we're going to try and get some grant funds.
Right.
I know what we're asking for. They needed to change it a little bit based on, the project areas. I think we're going to try and bucket potentially one project being from the crossing up to Business Route 1 along Church Street.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I needed that to be separate. He had it broken out as sidewalk, road, and then the culvert crossing. So we're just working on that a little bit, and he'll be here the first meeting in January to give an in-person update on some things. So can hopefully have a little bit more at that point.
Good, okay, yeah.
There was an opportunity is an opportunity for us to partner with one of the state agencies. They're looking to submit a grant at a federal level. And our project down here for the crossing is one that they want us to consider joining that application for. So they would just need an official motion by the board. I should also have more information on that for the next meeting, in which you'll have to hopefully make a decision at that one.
Okay.
So they can add it to the list. I think that's great. It's an 80-20 match if we do get it. If it's something that they get, it would be an 80-20 match. So more to come on that. I'm hoping for the next meeting, if not, definitely the last one in January, have it, try and put together with the Public Works Committee. We did the drive around, on all the roads. And so hoping to put that summary together. Still haven't had a chance to do that yet. I think we covered all the roads. The only thing we didn't hit that I had mentioned towards the end was, I don't think sidewalks were part of the review in the past, or at least recent past. So I think that's one that we need to think about looking at when you do the ride-alongs again.
Well, we won't do a ride along. We gotta do a walk.
We can do a walk.
So I'm free like
Yeah.
Friday morning at 8 o'clock in the 60-mile-an-hour winds. If you
Want to do it this Friday?
Do it.
Yeah. Let them know on the Public Works Committee.
In the rain, wind and rain.
Wind and rain, and we'll see how long we last.
Yeah, that's dedication right there.
I included the Mid-Coast Council Government Strategic Plan. I didn't print that out for your printed board packets, but it's in the digital form. It is a draft of that. It's following a series of workshops that they hosted to try and around the, well, what, three? I think it spans parts of 4 counties, 2 in whole and 2 in part. And so they had hosted a series of meetings to get a sense of what the region is looking for them to focus on. And that's their first draft of kind of putting that forward. The board for MCOG reviewed it and they wanted a little more time, so they'll take it up at their next meeting. But it's worth a look if you want to see. They did expand recently this last year their scope from economic development more exclusively to planning and economic development work. So good things coming out of there. Max is still on. I don't expect him to offer much, but you know, with him on there, I don't know if he had anything to add on that.
Max, do you have anything? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yep, sorry, I was just coming back into the room. What was the question?
No, not a huge question. I was just giving them a plug for the MCOG strategic plan, the draft that's been put out, and a chance for them to review that, and mentioned all the meetings that you guys had hosted, and didn't know if you had anything you wanted to add for that.
Just that it is still open for some comment from our member organization or member community. So we're still open to taking some suggestions on it.
Thanks, Max. At an upcoming, I think the next meeting, I've been working with Isabel, or Isabel's primarily been working on it, but trying to look at the current TIF program we have. We know it's not performing at the rate at which we had expected when we first entered into the agreement. And so I think that's something that, you know, we've been talking about, and she's put together a memo, and I'll share that for the next meeting for you to review and think about some ideas on that to try and get that program generating the revenue we want it to, so that we can invest in the program and the project that we identified. You know, there's a lot of sidewalk talk in that program, as well as some other, you know, pretty wide range of things. I know some of that was for partial funding of a fire truck, some of the admin costs for the town. And so just looking at that whole thing again and just, you know, seeing what can we do. You know, so hopefully you'll have that for the next meeting.
Well, we anticipated there'd be a couple more entities in the parcel, so kind of went
It's kind of barren in there right now.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see. Okay, that was the last thing I had on my memo there. I got a couple of things I added that will come up here later on the agenda.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, good. Do you want to move through into action items? So that's all you have on the.
I think so.
manager items?
Yeah.
So, so we have a couple of budget committee appointments.
We do.
Yep. And we have, is it Max and Gary Rosenthal over here? Yeah.
Yeah, I know Max had still been interested. I know there was discussion leading up to last year's town meeting, going back through old town meeting warrants, and the last time Max had been elected, the term had ended last year, and he wasn't on the ballot because there, again, I think internally there was some question as to whether he was actually still on an open term or not. And so he's still interested in serving in that full capacity as he thought he was. And some of us internally thought he was. So the recommendation would be to appoint Max to the full board member seat or committee member seat. And then Gary Rosenthal had also reached out following the newsletter that went out. I assume that's where he saw it. And expressed an interest to join the committee as well. There are 2 alternate seats open for both of those appointments. That'd be, as you probably know, that would be for the remainder of this current fiscal year, in which they'd be able to be considered on the ballot for town meeting election.
Okay.
If they want to continue.
So yes, you need a motion for Max's is 2 years, right? That's a 2-year term.
It's
currently.
there was an open 2-year seat. his appointment would be for the remainder of this fiscal year.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
The way
Yeah,
the charter reads, you can appoint, if there's a vacancy, you can appoint during the year, but it's good for the year, the fiscal year that you're in until, the next election
yeah,
happens.
so this is for Max, just the remainder of the year then. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll make a motion to appoint Max Johnstone for the remainder of the year.
Second,
Budget committee.
And you're gonna do Gary.
I'll do Gary's, I can do Gary separate. I figured, yeah. Thank you, Tom. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right, Max, you're back on, and I'll make a motion to appoint Gary Rosenthal for the alternate seat of this budget committee.
I'll second.
All right, thank you, Josh. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right,
It's that for time.
there you are, Gary. Yeah. You've got work to do now. All right. Yeah.
We still need another alternate on the budget. committee?
There's always room for, I think there's room for, yeah, we have one more alternate position, right? But we don't have somebody in it, so, yeah. But we'll do well to fill.
Do we need some?
It depends, but
Do we
we're
need someone from the planning, from?
not necessarily. I mean, this basically if somebody wants to do it. So we do well to fill the committees, basically. So we're happy to get that many. Thank you. So, all right, we have, there's some ordinance.
Yeah, Isabel had
ordinance
been,
updates.
yeah, Isabel's been working on, I think there was a few things right from when she started that she noticed just kind of more grammatic and formatting issues in the ordinance, and even something, what seems as simple as that still requires to go through the full process. So the planning board has reviewed the recommendations and the ordinance updates for the land use ordinance, site plan review, and subdivision ordinances. I did not print those all out, but
Mhm.
those are in the packet online.
Sorry, read it.
Yeah. Yeah, there was, so, yeah. Yeah.
And I did print her memo that accompanied that. And so
Right.
if you had questions, Isabel is here tonight.
Do we have any, yeah, Isabel, do you have anything you want to add to it? Want to come up and anything? Unless, yeah, and the board, I don't know if the board has any questions or not, but it looks pretty straightforward, but if
It's
you
pretty simple.
add something to it, so yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fairly straightforward. These are intended to be sort of non-substantive updates, like Andy mentioned,
Of
grammatical
cleanup.
errors and
Yeah.
cleanup. We are currently working through I am currently drafting, and the planning board will be working through some more substantive changes that we would anticipate having ready for the typical annual town meeting in June, but these are sort of the non-substantive
Yeah.
updates
Yeah.
for now.
The red pen update, so,
Yep.
yeah, okay. Any questions? Tom, do you have any questions for Isabel?
no, I'm good.
Okay.
I looked at it.
So the only thing we would need is
Yeah.
the board presumably to call for a public hearing, and I believe we'd have to do that for January 18th meeting.
Mhm.
So that we have enough time to, I think it's 2 weeks. Is that what you would?
Is that enough
yeah,
time for everybody?
2 weeks to post notice for the hearing.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you wanted to set the hearing for the January 18th to review those changes.
That's at Wednesday, so do just a 5:30 hearing.
Mhm.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'll make a motion to set a public hearing for various ordinance updates for January 18th at 5:30.
Second.
All right, thank you, Josh. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, Tom, yep. All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you as well. Yeah. Okay, what else we got? We got an addition on
Yeah,
motions,
it
right?
came in late. I'm hoping you'll take up the amended bid form for the Egypt and Belvedere Road project.
Okay, this is in the packet now, right? You got it in the.
It
okay,
is,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't have it printed out, so.
So on Monday, our engineer, I and Seth had gotten together to talk about what we've been kind of talking about for a couple months now. There's been some proposed modifications to what was in the bid, additions. We know we had taken up at a previous meeting, the quick shim coat, between Biskie and Rocky Run along that section of road of Egypt. And they have started some culvert drainage work that we had identified. So it's time to solidify that. I think they're still working on the notice of intent to award, and so it'd be good to button this up and move forward. So I did in the memo provide the email that came from our engineer, kind of quickly summarizing what he's talking about in terms of the bid price increase. He and I had kind of worked out an estimate of what we thought it would be. for the additional cost. We were pretty close, off a little bit. Overall, it takes and then on the next page there of the memo, I do have kind of like a spreadsheet that kind of shows you,
Yeah.
working off that original bond that the voters approved for paving projects. The Belvedere Road came in at $347,950. The Egypt project originally came in at 705,000, almost 706,000. The items that are kind of highlighted in gray there are what are being taken up on the amended bid form that we know. The other items on there, as I indicate, are kind of estimates. So the ditching work, we didn't identify specifically other than to say it's there. There's a unit price to continue as they move along the project site. My hope is that this just kind of gives you an idea of where we would stand if all of that plays out based on what we've estimated and what we're signing the contract for. The remaining monies would be able to be used, was intended to be used for Church Street. So that would give you an idea of what the balance might be going into that project.
Yeah, really the biggest change is that when the full depth reclamation, right, in those two sections, so which we knew. Yeah.
So there's 2 pages to the
right?
2 pages to the amended bid form. You can see Andrew wanted them to clearly indicate what was being removed and what's being added. So you can kind of see that there on the second page of the bid form.
Oh, yeah, okay, deductions there, yeah.
Mhm.
Give me a second. Oh, okay. Culvert work going okay so far? I think we've actually got the contractor out in the corner over there, so yeah, yeah.
I think so. There was some work trying to enhance or stabilize the side slopes of one of the culvert crossings
Oh,
yesterday. They got one side of it done. We got to still do the other side. And then they had replaced one of the culverts today in full. I'd gone out and checked that one. So far it's going along okay.
the weather's been holding out. So, okay. So on this one here, you just need a motion for just to approve the amended bid form, right?
The alternate?
Yeah, we need a motion so the motion that had been issued back, when this came in was an intent to award.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
at this point with this amended bid form, be looking for a motion from the board to award the contract to Hager Enterprises, and then we can actually get that printed and signed based on this amended bid form.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I'll make a motion to award the Egypt Road Belvedere contract to Hager Enterprises as laid out in the bid form as presented this evening. That makes sense. Is that convoluted? Yeah. Enough words in that? No. Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Andrew's going to second. Thank you, Andrea. Any discussion? So, okay. All
Well,
those in-
I don't know
Go
if this is, I don't know if this is appropriate, but I know there's been some plowing going on. And I'd just like to thank Hager for what he's done on my street, Westview Drive. But in any case, have we signed the contract now for plowing? And has there been a date set for repairing the shed?
So I needed to go confirm, but the contractor let me know yesterday that the cross member had been replaced on the shed. So I just haven't had a chance to go over and take a look at that. But as long as that's good, then the motion was to approve it on that condition, and I can have that available to sign and should be good to go.
Okay, well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. In that case, well, you haven't called for a vote yet. but go ahead.
Called on. All those in favor? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, it's all of us. So, all right,
Yep.
motion carries. So, thank you. All right, we shall proceed. Yeah. Be nice at some point to have a smooth Egypt road.
Oh, yeah.
And I forget,
Yeah.
road's closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those
Yeah.
that do listen in in the room, we do have a proposed tentative schedule for the road and where they're working along the road. It is on our website. You know, and if it changes from what was originally noted, Seth will let me know and we'll make that
Just try to
update.
keep it updated as best. Yeah, the signage and yeah, we'll do the best we can. Just make sure people are checking the website, you know, so it's a long way, around.
Yeah, and depending on whether what was proposed was it would wrap up by the end of next week, hopefully, as long as all things go well and the weather holds, right?
Over at work, no.
There's been a slight delay.
Grab the, yeah, grab the mic there. So just
Delay is only because.
get to introduce yourself real quick and we can start over.
No problem. So thank you for prices. This has been just a slight delay that I found today, and it's just because the triple wall 24-inch pipe that we changed to won't be here until January 5th.
Okay.
So it was just gonna be a few days
Okay,
before we get
not
that
too
pipe.
far.
That's the back Meadow Egypt road one.
So other than that, it should be
Yeah.
pretty close.
Yeah.
And we'll have a couple little add-ons here and there that might, you know, mess with the schedule a little bit. Like tomorrow, we're gonna fix the other end of Abbey Lane. So that'll take up, you know, a portion of the day, and then we're gonna go up and do the one by Josh's house. So we'll get that one in because that's fairly easy and quick. It's not overly deep.
Yeah.
So, you know, it might mess with, you know, just by a little bit here and there, but I'll keep you updated. And I've been texting John every day where we're at, and we've been trying to put the locations on the marquee, which hopefully will
Sure.
give people an idea.
Yeah, so all we can do is reach out there and give people much information as long as we're aware. So very
And
great.
it's pretty quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty relaxed. We're only doing one a day, and we're not usually there until right around after 8. So most people are out.
Yeah.
The bus is going through.
Yeah, and then we usually
Awesome.
we're trying to be done before dark, so the bus doesn't come through, but they're on break. So
Yeah.
Yeah. No, great.
I told
So-
Dylan he can park a big machine in the field if he wanted to.
yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, we'll be trucking down the road here a little bit. So
Well, thanks for getting in, taking advantage of the weather. So, yeah. it's good
yeah, we
seeing
really
those.
want. We reached out today trying to find, we may end up having to go to Mass to get it. But I want to try to get it.
Yeah.
It's either that or cold patch, but something for the winter. But I really want those to settle out because it'll be great.
Yeah.
And not have much of a bump after we get done paving,
Mhm. No doubt.
especially where the deep.
Mhm.
And there's 2 layers. Did you see that picture?
Yeah, they tell them what you found there.
So there's 2 layers to that road. At some point in time, it's been filled by about 3 feet.
Yeah, it was when I was a kid.
Oh,
So
and which in
it's
various
sandwiched.
sections or any? Yeah.
All the way up through there.
Yeah.
It's sandwiched. Yeah, there's a layer of hot top, there's about 3 feet of gravel, and then
Yeah.
another layer of hot top.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
This is like
Yeah.
mid to late 70s. I think they did it somewhere in there, like
Somebody-
77, 78.
Oh,
something
must have been,
like
it was dirt up until what, the mid 60s, right? It was a dirt road until somewhere around there. So it must have
Somebody
been
put some
originally
gravel on
then. Yeah.
It explains a little bit on the top because the top layer isn't very thick.
that. Mhm.
Hot top, the bottom layer is much thicker,
Yeah.
but it also explains why it holds water in some places too, because
Well,
of
that's
traps.
Yeah, sure. Oh, that's interesting.
Because you got pavement, dirt,
Oh, right.
pavement.
Yeah.
So
Make a cookie.
They
it's
shouldn't
common.
gravel on top of the.
It's not how we do it. They do it nowadays.
No, it's not.
Things were done different in the,
It is, yeah. we call it
70s.
Sandwich,
Yeah.
yeah, it's very simple.
Yeah,
But I
create
was
a lot of
completely
problems,
not
yeah.
expecting that until this morning. I was like,
yeah.
I took a picture and sent it to Andy. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you-
Well, you look at what you had for equipment to do reclamation back in 1978 and you're gonna, yeah.
Find that because they started at Biskie and went all the way up to Cedar Lane. And redid that, and then they went from Back Meadow and did all the way up to like Castaway Cove from the other end.
but did they
Interesting,
find
yeah.
that there wasn't anything said when they did the pipe down by Jamie's house? What does it?
No, they found some bricks and stuff.
Oh,
So.
Because
and-
that.
Yeah, but it
that
wasn't
part-
right. It wasn't
'cause
2
that-
layers
That
there,
part got really done. You know, they really widened that out. So I remember riding it when I was a kid, when it was dirt, when it was on a
Yeah.
bike.
Are you that?
so they made a.
Come on, you know.
I'm old.
It's going.
I'm older than
Great,
dirt.
thank you. Yeah. Oh, awesome. All right. We have anything else on action items? Is that it, Andy? That was the only add-on, right?
He said that.
Forgetting anything?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that?
I was making sure, we've been talking about a few different important date things. I think,
Yeah.
there was a TIF thing that for the next meeting, but the ordinance hearing is set, so we're good there.
Okay. All right. So we're, yeah, good, all cleaned up and everything. Okay. Looks like you have a CBDG update.
Yeah, Max is still on.
Max, yeah, Max is on there. Right?
So I'd mentioned, I think at the last meeting that, we know capacities, business status has changed. So there's their ability to use those funds from the CBDG program. Isn't there anymore. So the funds were issued to the town. Max has made me aware that there is another business in town that is interested. and trying to utilize those funds. There is a way that they could do it. They'd have to start again, kind of from the beginning, and go through all the process, the hearings, and go through the planning board if they need to. Well, confirm they don't need to go through the planning board. I think it sounds like they might have to. And so they've got to go through that whole process again. And so I don't know if Max wanted to add anything to it. He did write up this memo for you to kind of get a better sense of what the interest is or request would be for. And the board's kind of up to the board to decide if you want to try and work with another business to make this money get put to good use, or
Well, what are our choices? We send it back, or we work with, I mean, if it's already makes sense, if it's already here, you have a willing business to.
And as long as
Yeah.
we follow the rules that
Mhm.
they, well, we have to follow, I'm fine with moving forward, so.
Yeah, yeah. Tom, head nod up there. No?
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. I mean, I saw the application or the write-up from Andy and
Yeah.
I know the business and it seems like a reasonable request.
Yeah,
perfect.
great. Need a
Max,
motion or anything, or just a head nod?
I think it's clear to me that
Sorry.
Max can continue to advise
Yeah.
the business to move forward with the process and
Awesome.
start putting that stuff together. So
Thank you, Max, for keeping that rolling along. So, great. Well, that's it on the docket.
that's all I have.
All right. Well, we'll start with discussion items. I'll start with Tom's up there on the Zoom screen. So,
No, I don't have anything tonight. I'm still limping around here, but
Yeah.
I'm getting better,
well, good to see you. We'll see you in person next time.
hopefully.
Andrea.
So I just wanted to, I have to tell you, I was very happy that Hugh fixed the grate at the corner of Cross and Water Street.
Mm,
But boy, when Hager went through with the plows, you probably haven't, you don't walk like I do, but there's asphalt everywhere
You
that
caught it
just
on that
kind of,
corner.
yeah, it's just a mess.
Yeah.
And it's really headed right towards the grate, scraping the grate again.
Mm.
But he might need to go back and look at that a little bit.
Yeah, it's tough when it's cold patch in there. It's
Yeah,
gonna
cold
heal
patch
up,
in-
and
from that corner. Yeah.
I think that I'm pretty sure that basin is inside the scope of work for the parking lot project. So we need to just kind of get it, hopefully
Mhm.
hold us over until that project
okay.
happens, but we'll take a look at it, make sure it's not a danger of
Yeah.
falling in on itself again. They did build it up. They had to
They
put
did.
the concrete form in there and kind of build it
Yeah.
up higher. So it
yeah.
They
hopefully
did.
isn't going anywhere, but we'll try and make sure that there's no
But
serious
it's
lip
just-
there.
Yeah,
Smooth. Yeah.
It could-
So,
I don't know what's gonna happen,
Mhm.
as more plowing gets done.
Well, they'll catch the edge of the plow on there and they'll steer away from it a little.
yeah. Yeah. You snap that cutting edge back a few times on the corner.
It hurts.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So, okay. We can keep an eye on it anyway. So, Josh?
Well, I just want to say, happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everybody, and I'm thankful that everything today at the school went well, and
Yes.
it was nice to be part of the team and watch everything and watch everybody work together, and
Mhm.
glad everybody was safe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens from there.
Awesome. Well, I have nothing else to add. I'll echo Josh on that note, but nothing important to add anyway. So Tom's all set. So,
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
yeah, Merry
Bye,
Christmas,
Tom,
happy
you too.
holidays. Thank you, everybody. Do I hear a motion to
I'll make a
adjourn?
motion to.
Oh, geez, that was quick, Josh. Do I have a second?
It's been a long day.
Second.
Tom seconds, no discussion. All those in favor? Okay, we are adjourned.
Still got a full cup of coffee in my truck.
So we need to sign.